this is Izzy Moreno, and you're watching Countdown City WrestleCast.
What is up, heels and baby faces? Welcome to another episode of the Countdown City WrestleCast. I'm your host, JC. Joining me is that guy, Tommy.
Yo.
And we got Big Mike.
What's up, guys? 2024 is coming to an end. Let's go.
Jeez,
What
it really
is
is.
this? They have different music. Oh, Halloween. What is this? What is this? Play Halloween music. What do we
What's
got?
up, Angel?
What's
Hey,
up?
Angel.
I don't know how this is going to sound. I'm muting that. Anyway, thank you, everybody, for joining us. We're going to spend some time today recapping Bound for Glory, Halloween Havoc. I think these two guys got to go to the Hybrid Experience show this past weekend as well. And we're going to preview that epic show every year that's a little 50-50 on if the fans support it or not, and that is WWE's Crown Jewel. A lot to talk about, a lot to discuss. Yeah, see, Tommy's already excited, guys. But
Thrilled.
What's up, Jason?
we do have a special guest joining us.
Yes, we do.
Yes, not a wrestling promoter, not a wrestler per se, but a fan and an author. And I mentioned this about a month ago on my 1 minute warning. Looking at this book, I'm glad he's finally able to join us. Please welcome pro wrestling fan Ray Lopez, who is the author of Lock Up Professional Wrestling in Our World.
Hey guys, how you doing? Thanks for having me. How's it going?
Good. Glad
Thanks
you
for
could
joining
make
us.
it. And now he's just showing off his collection and this little background he's got here.
No,
So,
no, we're not, and I'm not at all jealous of that. I didn't see it immediately and just feel immense jealousy intensely. I didn't feel that at all. No, I don't know what you're talking about, JC.
yeah, not at all whatsoever.
None.
But judging by the collection, I think it's safe to say you've been a fan for a long time. So,
That's right. I've been a fan since I was a little kid. As I can remember with the monitos and the wrestling sheets and all that. I think probably maybe like 5, 6, something like that is when I started really watching it.
okay. What was your favorite wrestling toy growing up?
Had to be the Hasbro 90s monitos, probably the little
Probably,
collection in the ring. Those
Oh,
are
yeah.
right. Those were it when I was a little boy. That was the it wrestling toys for me.
Now it's all elaborate with like battery operated rings and entrances and everything like that. So swear to God, it's
They couldn't bend so much as they can nowadays, but hey, you still made it work, right?
Yeah. So,
Facts.
now we were talking beforehand. I heard some other interviews, but obviously your wrestling fandom goes back pretty much to where Mike and I's does into the 80s. What are some of your earliest memories of professional wrestling?
Well, I guess my earliest memory was the first show I went to down here in San Antonio. I think it was at that old Freeman Coliseum. Probably I was 8, so it's probably around 90, 91. Seeing that would be my first real memory of wrestling. But I remember watching the Hogan Andres and all that stuff and going to the old Hollywood video and looking for all the old wrestling tapes you can find out there. And that was a good weekend. You get yourself a wrestling tape and Nintendo game, and you were all set.
Yeah.
Yep.
You had to go to Hollywood Video because Albertsons was always rented out, right, Mike?
Yes. And also, at some point, the HEB by our house got one in there when they used to have them inside the store.
Yeah. HEB Video Central. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
God,
yeah. Was there a family member that got you into wrestling, or was it just something that you saw on TV and just kind of got hooked with?
Pretty much I saw on TV and got hooked with. My grandfather was into wrestling, so we would watch from time to time. I guess that kind of started me off. But, I would only go over on occasional weekends. But that led to me starting to watch it on my own. And I remember seeing Saturday Night Main Event late at my grandma's house, and, that had me hooked. When it was coming on, they had to put that channel on there or I would lose it.
Yeah. Now, I know aside from being an author, you are also a lawyer. And I'm curious to know, obviously growing up, it was always like, oh, you're a wrestling fan. Oh, we all know that's changed a bit now. It's so mainstream. My son's in the dugout. They're always talking wrestling and this and that. And there's a kid on his team named Dominic, and some of the fighters, come on, Dominic Mysterio, and he's like, no, I hate that guy. You know, it's pretty funny.
Hilarious.
Yes. But as a lawyer, I'm curious to know, have you ever like been in court, talk about something, and just gone off on like a wrestling promo with like your opening statement or closing statement, just to kind of go off a bit?
I wish it could be that way. I've never had a Stone Cold type of moment like that. In my mind, sometimes I'll pick like if I'm having a jury trial, I'll pick a wrestling theme in my mind, and I walk in like that. Nobody knows because obviously it's just in my life. But I try to give myself entrance musics for the big court days. That's
awesome.
Like People's Court, where they come in one at a time, but with entrance pyros. Right? Yeah. So
now that would make the whole experience a lot better.
Well, let me tell you something, Jerry. You think that this could... That'd be great.
I have out of line, Your Honor. Yeah. So
Macho Man. Oh yeah, let me tell you about this case. All right.
I think
Actually, wrestling lawyer is a great idea.
Sounds like a great show, actually.
Where they do all the things in different promo voices.
Yeah. I swear to God.
Yeah, I could see some guys arguing cases. Macho Man, Rock Piper, with a case arguing. That could be very entertaining.
That's hilarious.
Just to see lawyers in tassels, you know, like,
Oh God.
Yeah, you're facing a double murder charge, but here's a guy in spandex and tassels, and
It would still be a suit.
He's your public defender right now. Yeah, so
like all over it. It's still a suit, though. You just look like you work for the $1 billion man. That's all. So
yeah.
Then I don't want a lot of glitz for a Texas courtroom.
That's true too.
And I don't want to get personal against lawyers in general, but you got the one you're like, oh, that's a job guy. He ain't gonna get the job done.
Don't leave me with the Brooklyn Brawler, you know. Yeah. So I mean,
wrestling is kind of a reflection of life. You got your face lawyers, your heel lawyers, your jobbers, your main event guys.
A jobber lawyer is the most hilarious mental image I think I've ever had in my head.
I'm trying now. I'm gonna go back and watch Suits, and I'm gonna think about that whole lot differently. If we put wrestlers in that for sure. So, what kind of law do you specialize in? Just curious.
Sure, I do personal injury, some family and CPS and cases like that, family litigation I call it, and some criminal defense as well. So those are 3 areas I focus on.
Have you got any sort of weird responses from like clients that are like, "Wait, you're a wrestling fan?" Like, I don't know if you have any wrestling stuff in your office or anything like that, or find out.
No, not yet. But when I announced the book on the social medias, a couple of judges brought me back into the chambers and were super excited about it, and telling me how they loved wrestling and they grew up watching it. And that was really cool. I kind of felt like, hey, I'm not alone here. A lot of us love wrestling, so. It's definitely cool when I guess the world found out the extent of my fandom when I put the book on the Soul socials, and they found out it's been a very positive response.
That's awesome. It's funny how you say that, because like it's always funny to me how people will never admit they like something until someone else says it out loud. Like I remember I tell the guys all the time. I grew up one of the few people I knew who liked anime and pro wrestling actually at the time. And I was the only person who they knew would say it out loud. And when I said it, suddenly I watch it too. I'm like, where have you been for the past 6 months? Like I've been saying this. I've been talking about wrestling for 6 months. All of you looked at me like I had 3 heads, and you watch it too. Fake. So
it's one of those things. All those things that where we were kids, we thought dorky, or like those are coming mainstream. Friend of mine, his daughter's in the marching band at Johnson, and they're playing a song from Spirited Away as one of their UIL competitions. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I know. It's pretty amazing, right? So
seems like back in the day, you'd have to drop in like a secret reference or hint and just see if anybody got it. You'd be looking around like, okay, you got it, okay. And then talk a little bit more, working with that. But nowadays, I think it's everybody's cool with being a fan of.
But I can't lie, that is how I made some of my best friends in middle and high school.
Although in high school, you really couldn't use the crotch chop unless you're like yelling at the other team's fans, like a sporting event, kind of thing in high school. So
I do. I remember some friends of mine getting in trouble for saying "sucking" a lot. So,
well, I'm curious. Relating to this book, I'm pretty sure some of these judges might be asking your chambers just to get you to autograph it. So where did the idea for this come from? I'm just, what? I think I'm going to write a book about wrestling. Where did that come from for you?
Well, I guess it really gave birth during the COVID period. Once we went on a lockdown, I was kind of looking for a project to do to keep me from bouncing off the walls. Obviously during that, especially the early COVID, we all had a lot more time on our hand. Figured I got to use this in some type of constructive way. So, I was watching wrestling. I was watching old wrestling while I was working out in the mornings. And I figured, I could write a book about this. And that's kind of what started me. And then I got some ideas, and just kept growing since then. So it's been a work in progress, to say the least.
Okay. And by the way, if you're watching us live, feel free to comment. If you got a question for Ray, we'll pop those up here, see if you can answer them. So, now does this really kind of tell a story? Is it really about your perspective of wrestling, how it's been for you, or how does this kind of follow along here?
Yeah, thanks for asking. It's a unique format to this book. So it's got 13 individual chapters that all can be read individually. And I think it's kind of three kind of aspects to it. One, there is some kind of historical talks mixture in there, and some of the topics that we talk about a little more serious. One is race in the ring and how in mainstream professional wrestling, and by that I mean the major network shows, WWE, WCW, those networks, how they portrayed minorities and people of color over the years and the spans. There's also a chapter about gender about that. Some of it's also a lot of fan talk about, any period of time, let's say from 1980, right now is the presidential election is right upon us. So a couple of the chapters in the book are about the squared circle president. So every 4 years, kind of like we do in America right now, the wrestling world is electing a president. So we have two candidates come there, and then we kind of have a discussion about, who should be the president going forward for the next 4 years, and so on, and continues from that perspective. There's also an intermix of talking about, mainstream culture and professional wrestling. I kind of try to frame it in a fun way for everybody. For instance, there's a chapter about Hollywood, which is titled The Kaufmans, named after the legendary Andy Kaufman, who of course blended wrestling and Hollywood, at the expert level. That's kind of an award show where we have different categories, best fight scene featuring a wrestler, best tag team performance, best heel, best baby face, best picture about wrestling. So there's a lot of different categories in there, and we kind of discuss it and break it down. So it's kind of broken up into those three bits: a little bit of wrestling history, a little bit of wrestling fan talk, and some wrestling talk in mainstream cultures like Hollywood, reality TV. There's a chapter on football. But they're all kind of phrased in I think a somewhat unique way. Our football chapter is kind of a fake fantasy football draft where you're only drafting professional wrestlers. So who would make your quarterback? Who would make your receivers? Who's going to be on your line? But you can only draft them from certain decades. And of course, there's a lot of overlap with, as long as these wrestlers have careers.
That sounds pretty fun.
You just gave me an idea for a show every year. Wow. So this isn't really more documentary. This is kind of mixing in just a lot of stuff. Really, this is an all-encompassing really thing.
Well, yeah. So I was going to ask. You said you kind of had the idea to start writing something during COVID. We all had time. Was the different chapters and kind of breaking it up like that just you had so many ideas you didn't know how to find one necessary narrative path, or was it just I kind of want to break this up and talk about different things? How did that kind of evolve into the different parts of it?
Well, San Antonio native Shea Serrano's big influence on the book, and kind of the way he formed basketball and other things. If you're familiar, so I've been a big fan of his. Yeah. And so I read his book, and that format was kind of a big inspiration. And I wanted to come up with different topics to talk about a variety. It's talking about professional wrestling, but in a variety of different ways.
Right.
We have a match Hall of Fame where we selected 8 matches that come in, and we discuss their legacy. We break down the match, then we discuss kind of the build also. So that was the format. And, I had chapters a few, but as time kept going on, I kept getting more chapters. Some chapters got cut, and eventually it formed out to, what we're presenting now.
Right. I got you.
That's awesome.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, I'm familiar with him and that the basketball book. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Shout out to him too, by the way. He was on ESPN Daily podcast, I think earlier this week, talking about the Spurs. While they're talking about the season.
Always representing.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. Now, kind of keep it with that. Shea really talked on that podcast about how much the Spurs mean to this city. And in a way, wrestling is the same way here in San Antonio. I mean, you got Spurs, high school football, and wrestling is kind of 1 and 2, 1, 2, and 3, really in San Antonio. You kind of, I guess when you're writing this, do you kind of add like your personal like feelings of that, like knowing how big wrestling is here in San Antonio for you, in this?
Sure, I think the book also kind of celebrates the grandeur of wrestling and all the variety and different ways that it can, infect people's lives and in their fandom. So we kind of talk about that. I mean, San Antonio should be very proud of our wrestling history, the guys that have come here. I mean, I think Shawn Michaels is probably one of the best of all time, and probably the best as far as ring technician and just in-ring ability. And we should be very proud that he's one of ours. So it's been a great wrestling town, and definitely it's been an inspiration for this book coming together.
This is a smart guy. I like what he says.
Do you yourself get to frequent any local shows around town?
I was at the RCW event this past Sunday and had a great time there. Thanks for Brandon for hosting us. I've seen a few of them, and they're a lot of fun.
Nice.
Awesome.
I'm trying to think. You guys have a question here?
Well, okay. So if you're at the RCW show last week, I know you probably may not have been familiar about a lot of things, but how did you feel about the two people that joined that Texas Treats? There's David Kidd that turned on people and became David Teen, and then I don't know if you know this, but the rather not very tall young woman who joined them has a pretty constant rivalry with Tommy. Like, we frequent RCW shows, hybrid shows, the school that they train out of. What were your thoughts on some of the things that happened that night?
I mean, that was the name change was. I mean, that's taking it up to the next level. Completely changed his name from 30 seconds later, he's coming out as a new guy. Yeah, that was fun. And I liked the oh no's, oh yeah chants. Those were a lot of fun. They had their crowds going. There was a lot of talent there. There's a lot of talent there. It was a real fun show.
Yeah, one of their former women's champion is in NXT right now. I don't know if you're familiar with that. Ren Sinclair, who used to be Maddie Rankowski here on the Indies. She's with the new No Quarter Catch crew up there on NXT. Right.
Yeah, it's great to see her out there, dude. I know there's been a history. It seems like lately there's been a few that have made their way through San Antonio that are getting their shine on the natural stage. It's pretty fun to see.
Roxanne, the NXT Women's Champion, spent a lot of time here.
Yeah. Sure did.
Awesome.
And more to come, I'm sure, as well. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of talent there right now. So,
now, is this book? I think you told me when we talked. It's available locally, right? As far as getting this book right now, it's available locally.
It's available locally. Anybody can hit me up on Twitter. We can see about getting you a signed copy if you want.
I say to hit you back about that because I really
okay.
But when I messaged you, then SpaceCon came up, and I had to wait till I get paid. I was like, let me wait till money comes back in. So
understandable, totally understandable. But it's for pre-order right now on Amazon and Barnes and Nobles. The national distribution's coming December the 3rd. Nice. But we're also in the Twig bookshop right now. We're working our way into a few other bookshops. So it's kind of a soft opening right now. The nationwide release is still coming. But it's great to see the city of San Antonio supporting so much so far. And it's been moving in the city locally. So there's some copies that are out there. But we're still waiting for the national release. Right now, it's kind of just like a pretty much San Antonio thing. And in December, the pre-orders will finally get distributed on Amazon. We'll go out there.
Are you? I don't know if Tommy. If you don't know, Tommy's also an author himself. Has written a book.
Yep.
And Tommy, do you guys have boxes of copies of your book just sitting in your house?
I do not as big a box, but as a matter of fact, it's actually right here. But I do keep copies as many as I can, just in case. I'm somewhere I think one reason I did order so many the last time was because of Superhero Comic-Con when we were out there, and I brought it with me. And some people said, "Oh, I would like a copy." I ran to our booth, grabbed it, and just
remember that.
For anyone. I think I have a yelled mic. Give me a copy of the book. So sometimes, I just I mean, this is gonna sound like I keep that thing on me just in case. You never know what somebody would read. So
Yeah.
So,
Ray, is that the same for you?
Well, my publisher is based out of the Northeast, but I was fortunate or strategically placed that the book is being warehoused here in San Antonio.
Nice.
So it's only a 30-minute drive for me to get, but I keep some in I have some copies. If anybody wants to hit me up out there, ready to go. And we're warehousing the major bulk that are going to go for nationwide distribution here in San Antonio. So, when I start running low, I'll just make a little trip out there and pick up another box or two.
Sweet.
So I'm always going to – the plan is to always keep copies on me. Always have some copies on me.
Where did you get the or like who provided the artwork for the cover? I really like that image there.
Yeah.
Thank you. Another San Antonio native, one of my high school friends, Eduardo Romero, is a great artist.
Oh wow!
Put this together. He did the illustrations, so he designed the cover, and throughout the book, there's 13 chapters, and each chapter has a chapter illustration there, which I think he did a fantastic job. There's also one in the intro, so there's 14 illustrations, and they all are portraying about wrestling in different ways, different lights. I think he did a great work. And when you check out the artwork, people are gonna think it's pretty cool. He's also a local guy here.
Nice.
Is that more to the Shea inspiration of those kind of funny pictures that kind of go along with the chapter and what the discussion is or whatever?
Well, I think this book is not just completely, you don't read through it all the time. I try to put a lot of things in there, a lot of visual aspects. There's charts, there's timelines, there's graphs, there's brackets, there's all kinds of visual things in there. So it's not just your traditional read. We're going to have all these visual things. We've got to have some illustrations. We've got to have some cool illustrations for everybody to dig. So I knew that was going to be an essential part of my book. Since we were going for that whole, we want something visual appealing. It's going to be a fun read, but on top of the read, I think some of the charts and graphs that we've come up with are going to really be a treat to the fans. If I can, I'll tell you a little about some of the graphs we made. So in our graphs chapter, we made 30 graphs of some of the most iconic wrestlers ever. And now these graphs are breaking down each of these iconic wrestlers' heel face time, how much time they spend in their career, how much time they spend in their face. We kind of break down their gimmick in a pie chart to some of the traditional gimmicks. He might be part of this gimmick and part of that gimmick that'll make his ultimate character. And then there's the graph called the golden time that we calculated all the time a professional wrestler had throughout their career as an active wrestler. And what I mean by active wrestler is we subtracted time that had to be taken off for injury, time that may have had taken off for rehab, for switching promotions and being under a no contract clause or no compete clause and things like that. So we added how much time they were actually available for use. And out of that, we figured out, well, how much time did, for instance, Ric Flair, how much time was Ric Flair the world champion? Because, everybody knows it's 16 times, which, is a disputed number. Some people say it's as high as 24. As for how many times that he's been champion. And then what percentage of that was his career? So we broke it down. So I think even for the most hardcore wrestling fans, there's going to be facts and stuff in this book that you've never come across, that you've never seen. So I'm really excited to get it out there for the people. And they'll see, how much time did Jericho spend as IC champion? How much time was Undertaker a tag champion? How much time, was whoever the world champion? And it's all broken down and how much of their career was spent like that. So there was a lot of time went into this, and there's a lot of information that I think the most hardcore fan would find new and cool.
That's awesome.
That's so cool.
I'm kind of an analytics guy, but geez, that's a lot of research, man.
I was going to ask, how fun was that to research?
That was a lot of research. When we brought the illustrator on board, he was taking some time to get his drawings right, and I didn't want to rush the process because good art takes time. So fortunately, that time the book was far along the process. But then I got time to I used that time to really sink into these graphs and put more into them and try to make them as cool as possible. And it did take a bit of time, too much that I'd like to admit, probably.
Now, are you married or have any kids?
Married. I have one son.
What's that? Okay. How are they as far as wrestling fans?
Well, he's 3, so he's not quite there yet. He's still in the toddler preschool age, but definitely going to be taking him to some shows once he gets a little older and can handle it. But yeah, that's the one thing I'm really looking forward to.
Nice. Are you like me, where you're already like body slamming or choke slamming your kid before they go to bed, because that's kind of how I put my kid to bed sometimes.
He's got to get at least 3 rock bottoms. At least 3.
Oh, okay, cool, exactly. That's like required if you're a wrestling fan and you have a son. You always got to do something.
You got to find that signature finisher and hit him with right before bed.
No, we'll be out in public and Joaquin's like, "Hey, Daddy, make me tap out." Like I'm putting him in a headlock. He's like trying to, yeah. So he'll do the.
Well, this is the fun age where you can power bomb and raise edge them. It's all.
Yeah.
They don't get too big before you start throwing out your back trying to do something.
Yeah, exactly. The older you get, make sure you stretch. Trust me. Now, obviously, you write one book, so the question is going to be, when's the next one coming? Do you have, when is there? You have something in mind for I guess a sequel?
I do have something in mind for a different book. It's kind of be similar as far as the graphs and charts and the information that's coming into it, but it's also going to be something totally different, a different type of thing. When it would be done, it does a long process. This one took about 4 years. Obviously, I still have my day career and my family and all that obligations. So, I don't know, a decade. If I could get it in under 5 years, if I can beat George R. Martin, I'll be happy.
This man preaching right now. I don't know if y'all know out that this man is preaching right now. Talking to my soul, he is right now.
I mean, I follow you on Facebook. I see all the I should be writing right now, but I'm not writing meetings.
Dude, it's the realest thing ever. Because this man, I'll tell this man preaching.
He should be writing, but the new Zelda's out. So
also,
yeah,
I'm sure it's not in the book, but we have a request for some more stats or charts, perhaps. How long will the Texas Treats be the best stable in Texas?
They never were in the first place.
Are we going to get some independent wrestling graphs going for the next one?
Well, the records, I think, would be going to be that's really going to be the hard thing to find. The mainstream is covered everywhere.
Sure.
And, to come up with these graphs, we cross-reference 5 different sites plus the base knowledge, plus you have all the videotapes and you have all the books written about it. So there's a wealth of information. Trying to calculate, even when we were calculating some professional wrestlers like Mick Foley or somebody, for instance, and how much time was their active career. Really, I thought the only way for this to be accurate is we limited it down to what their active major league career was, because those are the reliable numbers that you get. So, that would make it really hard to report kind of the style that I've been doing it in. But I think there's a lot of regional topics that could be fun to explore.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now I know you're not going to stick around for us. We're going to talk about Crown Jewel on this show. Do you have any predictions for what's going to happen at Crown Jewel?
I just can't say Cody's going to lose. I don't know how he's going to win, if he's going to beat Gunther straight up, or I don't believe. Even if there are shenanigans, I can't see them making Cody take an L under even shenanigans circumstances. He's their poster boy. He can't be taking any L's until at least Mania, right? At least Mania.
That's
possibly Rumble, maybe,
or
War Games. Who knows?
If Rumble, if Mania is Rock, then I don't want him taking an L there either. So
yeah,
it's got to at least be there. He may go on further than that, but so I think he's probably going to come on top from Gunther. The women's match is good. If I had to guess, I say Nia is just an unstoppable beast. She could take the L, and nobody would blink an eye, especially with some shenanigans with Raquel and Rhea getting involved and costing her the match. I definitely see Liv taking that one. I think Nia is just such a beast that she can really take that L. And Gunther, too. Nobody's going to question Gunther's ability or, championship worthiness if he loses to Cody. So, there are going to be some fun matches to watch. The champion format is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I have a quick want y'all to make a prediction. If y'all remember when they did the greatest battle royal or whatever, they had the big trophy that Braun Strowman won, and then it accidentally got destroyed on the next Raw or within a week of them coming back to the States. How long do you think either champion carries that? Well, I assume the women are also getting a big fancy belt. Maybe not. I don't know, but they have that big fancy crown jewel belt. How long do you think the winner carries that around once they come back?
Just the next night, I hope, because that's becoming overkill. And for the record, they talk about AEW got too many championships. Where the hell did this thing come from?
From all that Saudi money.
Okay, you know what? Never mind.
I mean,
that's a good point.
I kind of agree. I'm not a huge fan of this gigantic belt that looks a little overkill, like a trophy or a cup somebody would do, because it doesn't seem like it's something they're going to defend on a regular basis. So maybe a trophy would have been to go the way, but hey, maybe it opens the door for Ted DiBiase Jr. to make his return and buy that gaudy thing and just rock it all the time.
Wow.
Honestly, you know what? I can't even lie. This looks like something you would see in like a Japanese like Toketsu show, where this is what they use to transform into their superhero form. And like that's like they say a phrase, that belt appears, and their armor shows up over them after that. That's what this belt looks like to me.
Look, I said it last week. This is their version of the King of Pro Wrestling Championship in New Japan. So that's really what it feels like to me. As far as how long
so your Matt Toriano's not.
Yeah, I was just gonna.
Yeah, he should be. Like whoever wins this is an illegitimate fucking King of Pro Wrestling champion. But I think if they are gonna have somebody carry it around, it probably will be through War Games, and then that's that. You know.
Oh, you think it'll go that long? Interesting.
I mean, if it was Vince McMahon, it would go through at least Mania.
Wow, it's so
if
cool.
it was a Vince McMahon, I'm gonna shut up.
This is a good reference.
I'm gonna shut up. I'm shutting up right now.
I wonder if anyone's going to trip and land under the ring like Titus O'Neil. I don't know. They have to be careful nowadays because they usually have the LED boards on certain sides at certain shows. So now if you trip like that, you're going head first and you're getting injured. So gotta be careful on those now.
One of the matches that was just added, and we'll talk about it later too in depth, but was the OG Bloodline versus the Bloodline. Roman and the Usos against any three members of the current Bloodline is what there's no set people who's going to be. Obviously, we thinking this is probably just the first part of this. Obviously, Ray, you said it too. This should have been saved for War Games. And it probably.
I mean, it's got to be. I guess you have to. You got to. What do? You take Solo out of the equation to make it like. That's why it's going to be special at War Games, because Solo's not going to be part of it. It's going to be a 3-on-3.
Yeah.
It does feel like they're getting a little too early for this. I was expecting them to really clash. I loved watching the build of the bringing the band back together with the old school Bloodline. But I thought the natural place to finish that off would be War Games. But I mean, who knows what are they going to do? 4-4 War Games? They're going to do 5-on-5, and maybe one side takes Kevin, one side takes Cody. What are they going to do? I mean, it's going to be a 4-on-4. It's going to be exciting to see.
I imagine it'll be a 4-on-4. I don't know if they're going to go get another family member for the fourth member of the OG Bloodline, or if they're just going to get Sammy Uso.
Well, I think that's what this might set up. Like I was saying earlier, is that the number they still have one more than Roman and the Usos, so that makes them have to go find it again. Then the story is it Sammy? Is it Cody? What comes that fourth person?
So
if they do go the direction of adding Sammy, he's got to be a part of Crown Jewel, right? He's going to come in, make the big save, or
maybe
his music's going to hit and let him go crazy.
As much as he got cheered in Saudi Arabia the last time he was there, and finally getting to perform there, it would actually go over really well if he did that.
That's probably true.
He would get some major cheers. I mean,
which is why the World Heavyweight Championship match should have been between him and Gunther, and Sammy wins here. But that's neither here nor there.
I'm not saying he gets Mansoor cheers, but they're pretty damn close. Okay.
That's a high standard, but I've been thinking
for Saudi Arabia.
It'd be a great pop. It'd be a great moment if he comes in there and the old band, and then they have that hug where the old band's back together, all four of them. I think that would send goosebumps down to the fans, and that would really set up a good War Games.
Yeah, it would.
Cool. Yeah. All right, Ray, how can people get a hold of you on social media?
Sure, you can have me at Lucha Lockup on the old Twitter machine. Search me out there, and you want to order the book. It's at Barnes & Nobles. It's at pre-orders available at Barnes & Nobles, Amazon, also on mascotbooks.com. Just go to mascotbooks.com, look for Lockup, and you'll find it right there. We're in Twig right now. We're looking to get in some more local bookstores, but just kind of soft opening. So if you're down in the Pearl, get yourself some good food and check out the newest copy.
Okay. Have any copies appeared at Half Price Books yet?
I have not checked, but man, given that it hasn't been released yet nationally, I hope not.
I swear, books like they say they just came out and somehow they're at half price books already. I swear, every time I walk in there, it's.
Then how come mine isn't there yet? Damn it! No, I'm kidding.
You know, I'm gonna look for it next time I'm there. Believe me.
Tommy's just gonna take some and like slide them into different.
You're not. No lie. I've
He's gonna
considered doing
take the
that.
box he has and just sell it back. To half price.
I don't know who wrote these books, but they're pretty good. But I'm gonna sell them
We're
back.
looking at your ID. Are you TV Wesley? First of
It's
all,
not
I didn't
legally.
do this interrogation.
You know what? You should autograph it just so they give it a little more value, and they'll throw that autograph copy sticker on the book too. You know?
Once again, don't tempt me. I
All right. Before we let you go, Ray, as you know, if you watch the show, you know what the 1 minute warning is all about. And I'm going to fix this countdown here. Give me a second here. Good thing. So, what I would love for you to do, I'm putting you on the spot here. Give us your 1 minute warning on why, if you're a wrestling fan, you need to get this book. You ready?
Sure.
All right. Go for it.
This is going to be a new book, something that you haven't seen before. For those of you that read the traditional ones, either it's been a biography or strictly history. We've got a lot of everything. There's some biography, there's aspects to it, there's some history aspects, there's charts, there's graphs, there's some really cool illustrations. There's all kinds of things to check out. If you ever wondered, hey, what was the best version of Jericho? What year would be the best if we all had a tournament where they're just Jericho versus Jericho from 92 to get 96 or whatever? We're breaking it down and put it in this book. So I think you're going to find a lot of fun topics, and you'll be able to jump around, read it. It's going to be a fun read for anybody to get it, and go check it out. Written and illustrated, made here in San Antonio. So I hope everybody gets out there, checks it out. I think you'll like it.
Nice. You still got 10 seconds left. Give me your favorite wrestler growing up.
Growing up, I was a big Hulkamaniac. I can't say that I was. I also love Macho Man. He was the first guy I ever met at the Fox K or the KABB Kids Fair or something like that. That's Macho one. I'm a Mega Powers guy. I guess I'm a Mega Powers guy.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. And it's been Hogan's been disappointing as I've gotten older and become an adult. But
yeah,
unfortunately, Savage passed away a while ago. We did throw that Mascot Books link up in the chat, so it should be there whether you're on Facebook or YouTube, guys. So go check it out. Pre-order.
Yeah, if that link doesn't work, you can just search "lock up professional wrestling in our world." The Google search should take you to the Mascot Book site, or you can also you can look it up on Amazon as well. You can also pre-order it. On December 3rd is the national release, right? So
December 3rd is the national release. Yep.
December
Get your
3rd.
pre-orders in now, or head to the publisher's website. They might send it to you faster if you go to mascotbooks.com.
Okay. Or just hit up Ray on social media. Maybe he can get you one. Yeah, as well. Ray, appreciate you coming on, and congrats on this is your first published work, right?
For first time published, it's been quite an exciting journey, and it took a lot of years to get it here, but I'm finally I'm real excited that it's here, and the national release is right around the corner. We're super excited about that, and I'm appreciating all the support that I'm getting here in San Antonio, from the bookstores carrying it to the people buying it to the y'all hosts, y'all having me on. I've been feeling the love, and yeah, we're real excited that this project is finally going to get out there for people to see. I think everyone will dig it if they give it a chance, and check it out.
Nice. Awesome. Congrats on now we've had two authors on the show. We got Tommy and now we got Ray. So, there you go. Nice. Ray, congrats and good luck with the book release. I'm sure this is going to go really well. I'm actually excited for this. I'm going to try and see if I can get a copy or pre-order one. And don't hesitate to come say hi if you see us at a show, man. I'll try and keep the book handy with me and maybe hopefully get an autograph if I see you out there. So,
Absolutely, I will. Just shoot me a message and we can get you $30 mailed to your door, or local pickup is available. The book is $25 right now. Same price as that listed on Amazon and everywhere. So just hit me up, and anybody out there, hit me up on the Twitter machine, and we can get a signed copy mailed to you. Extra $5 for the shipping, but we'll mail it out right to your door.
Very cool.
Awesome.
And if you're on the show, the first person you're going to notice is Tommy. So if you see him, we'll be around there. So.
RCW honoree Tommy, by the way.
I'm going to try to make it to the next one. I know they got something coming up in late November.
The 24th, yes, sir.
24th.
Right.
Acceleration. That's already shaped up to be a hell of a show. So
yeah,
for sure.
Well, I enjoyed the last one, so I'm definitely going to try to make it out there, and hopefully I'll see it all out there.
Good to hear.
Yeah, try and get I think the next big local one is November 9th is BOW. It's going to be there potentially the last show for a while too. So we'll be talking about that a bit next week for sure. So Cool. Thank you, Ray.
Appreciate it. Thank you a lot.
Appreciate you coming on. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Good night.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty unique idea for a book, I would
Very
say.
much
What he's describing, how he's going through each chapter, that's pretty exciting.
No,
'cause, I mean, when you read a lot of wrestling books, you kind of get one person's opinion on different eras, right?
Mhm.
But this one is. It sounds like, I mean, there's like a fantasy booking, like they took fantasy booking to the next level.
Yeah.
Who would be your number one fantasy pick in wrestling? Now that we say that,
Eddie Guerrero.
think about Eddie Guerrero.
All time or right now?
That's yeah.
You know what?
That's-
Two answers: all time and right now. Who would you
Okay.
say?
All time Eddie Guerrero.
Okay.
Right now. Oh, he's injured again. I actually have another name, but now he's injured again.
Well, I mean, if it's just an injury, he's going to come back from. I mean, that's
So okay, you know what? I'll split it between because right now it would either be El Hijo del Vikingo or Josh Alexander.
Okay. What about you, Mike?
the all-time one is tough because there's two. I guess I'll go Shawn Michaels. Sting would be second on the all-time one, but I think Shawn's a little more over all around, specifically in the ring. Although Sting kind of has a big presence about him. Right now, independent. Oh God. Right now, given where things are, I know it's going to be a shock because you think it would be the person who's kind of his second in command now, but I think I'd go with Jon Moxley. I know you're going to talk about like guys like Roman and some of those, but like I like what Moxley's doing. He flourished outside of the WWE umbrella, and again, I know we always have to throw that caveat that this is not the Vince WWE anymore, but what Moxley's done and what he's evolved into without actually really evolving that much in a sense, like this, what his character is now is not really a stretch from what he's been, but it's such a huge thing, and he kind of go with anybody, he has crazy matches and good matches, and I think he's kind of an unsung MVP right now. Because AEW doesn't always get, props it deserves.
Nice.
I think Moxley, I'm sorry, JC.
No, go ahead.
I would say I think Moxley has become even better with this new supervillain gimmick he done. With. So, sorry. Go ahead, JC.
Yeah, all time for me, it's either between Shawn Michaels or Stone Cold Steve Austin. I mean, Shawn was Mr. WrestleMania. Steve Austin probably made the company the most money for the longest time.
Oh yeah, for sure.
As far as right now, Mox is up there. Cody Rhodes is an option. Someone said Joe Hendry. God, if he could just win a championship for sure. But I mean, God,
we'll get to that in a minute. But yes,
we'll get to that in a minute too. But I'm gonna throw this out there. Got a left field to say Bailey right now. But I mean,
I know we're thinking mostly about men, but you're not wrong. Also, Sean, I respect this too.
Yeah.
Also, kind of shocked to hear that from you, but I like it.
That was a little surprising.
Cassidy would probably be like my sleeper pick in the fantasy draft, probably like third or fourth round when you think about it. So I mean,
yeah.
So kind of sneak through there. So
and then is Darby Allin your like rookie, like the future star?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like you have that utility player. It's fucking Darby Allin for sure. So and then my kicker is Toriano. Thank you again, Ray, for coming on. That was actually a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to this. I want to definitely get a copy of that.
Toriano will go for a kick, point at the sky, make everyone look, and just throw the football just throw it through the uprights.
Oh, you're running trick plays with Toriano, no doubt.
Oh yeah, and then he's selling the referee his DVDs.
Okay, I'm sorry, this just popped something in my head, and it's not actually wrestling related, but I have to mention this. It'll take 30 seconds, hopefully.
Sure.
I have some kids today who are like on the freshman football team or JV, I forget which one. And they were talking about practice and they were running some like trick plays. They called them TikTok plays. And he goes, I was like, TikTok? He's like, yeah, you ever seen these TikToks where they're like, run this play? He goes, so it's crazy, sir. Like the wide receiver runs like a 5-yard hitch or whatever, stops, comes back, catches it, and then he laterals it to the running back. And I'm like, the hook and ladder, one of the oldest plays in like football. And they're like, oh, I guess. I was like, that's not new. Like that.
Like, do they not?
We're so old.
Boise State in Oklahoma for
Probably
crying out loud,
not.
the Fiesta Bowl. Come on, dude.
We're so old. It's crazy. TikTok
That's
plays.
hilarious.
I was like, the hook and ladder?
Yeah.
Do y'all run swinging gate? Come on, man. Sorry, back to
You
wrestling.
probably do, just try to get.
Yeah, it's got some-
Run it better than the Giants did this past weekend because that was horrible.
Oh, God.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into what we're going
It's
to
actually
talk
the
about.
Fortnite play.
Right.
Oh God.
You have to floss when you. All right.
Just shoot me.
Let's first start this off by any bit of wrestling news. I mean, obviously.
Well, there are a couple things out there.
Yeah.
The injuries in TNA.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do we kind of want to loop that in with our Bound for Glory discussion because it kind of goes with.
Okay, if you want to do that, we can do that.
Yeah. Sure.
The other big thing today was the WWE ID announcement.
Which is being met with very mixed reactions.
Yeah. So I don't know if you saw the full kind of release of the press release on that.
I need to look at it again.
Okay. So I think me and Tommy have, but basically there's 3 training facilities that have been deemed WWE ID wrestling schools, and it's basically like these 3 places will allow you to become a wrestler. It's almost like they realized that they went kind of overboard with the college athlete NIL stuff, which you can see in NXT by the large amount of former Division I athletes that are now in the training facility. So this is apparently like to get back to some of the indie wrestlers to have like a pathway to easier get to WWE. Of course, the 3 schools, and I'm not saying they're bad schools by any means, but they have WWE connections. So there's Booker T's Reality of Wrestling, of course, in Houston, which is super cool because we've seen a lot of the ROH talent come through some of the shows here, BOW, RCW, Mission Pro. Was it Black and Blue, the one that Seth Rollins is attached with, and then the Nightmare Factory, which is Cody Rhodes, his school. So obviously WWE connections, but they're the first 3 to be tagged WWE ID school or training facilities. And so it's kind of like a pathway to mark indie talent that, I guess WWE has their eye on. Tommy, you said the mixed reactions. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. So there, so of course with the good, like I know, and I know several friends of mine who are very happy about this. What it could mean and everything. But there's also the mixed reaction of saying this could essentially kill indie wrestling, which I see their point. I see people's point, especially when they say if these companies are basically WWE smaller companies, then it's not really indie wrestling anymore. And I tend to agree to an extent. I think it's very complicated. And I'm not quite sure.
There's definitely pros and cons to it. To answer a couple of questions real quick in the chat, though. Yeah. No, Sean, this is not the Rhodes Academy up in Austin. No. This is Nightmare Factory, which is also what's his name, who was in AEW for a long time. It's Rhodes. It's like that. Yeah, QT Marshall is also.
Oh no, he's back in AEW.
Okay.
No, you're right, but he's also like one of the main trainers at the school. It's called the Nightmare Factory, and it is attached with Cody Rhodes, but it's kind of that thing where Marshall is one of the main trainers there. Oh, I guess that's weird, even though he's not AEW, or he's AEW now. But and then we got Naf here from Talkan. Biggest concern is, do y'all think it hurts other students? And there's that, and there's also a lot of people who said they're kind of afraid that this is going to be like a WWE NXT UK situation, where they take some of the top talent and then they're not reliable to be on shows because they're under the contract. They can be pulled. They can't do jobs.
My worry, I'm not saying this is going to happen. Obviously, it's a different person in charge now. But, this is kind of going back to like when OVW and was it Deep South, were developmental territories for WWE.
Yeah.
I don't know if W is going to come and take over and want them to be training their style, which in my mind, isn't that what NXT is for? Like, you pick these schools out for a reason because of the way they were already doing things.
Yeah.
Why change that? Sure, obviously having the WWE moniker on it means you're kind of like getting more. WWE's going to look to those schools first, I would think.
Yeah.
And who's to say these are not the only schools they're going to use? Like,
Right,
further
these
on
are
down
just the
line,
first 3 they announced, sure.
yeah. You could have there's wrestling schools all over the country,
Mm-hmm.
all over the world, even that they could possibly get at. I don't know if that's something that Marvel and the guys at Hybrid would consider in the future, because I think what's unique about Hybrid, for just kind of laying it to something locally, they're teaching multiple styles of wrestling, not just one certain thing. Marvel has learned your traditional, he's learned lucha. When he started the school with, I think with Masada and Ray Rowe was one of the original founders.
Yeah,
I
it
believe.
was Marvel, Masada, and Ray Rowe. Yeah.
Yeah, like that was their idea, was to have different styles to be able to taught. Masada has worked the deathmatch style, he's worked the hardcore style, but he's also worked your traditional wrestling style. So
Funaki's there, and
Funaki's there.
But not only the
right.
Japanese style, but he also knows WWE too. So he can
Yeah.
also give to them that kind of being on TV idea.
Right, exactly. So, my thing is, as long as these schools don't lose their identity about what makes them unique, right?
Right.
What makes them who they are, and why they've gotten so good as well. That's my only worry.
And it's interesting because I feel like Triple H for a long time has had this desire to really make this like WWE attached minor league. Like, he was so set on NXT UK, and then there were talks about like NXT Europe and NXT Asia that kind of fell apart over time.
I think the pandemic had a lot to do with that. It was really hard to keep that for sure. So yeah.
But I also do think like Booker T Schools has produced great talent for a long time.
Yep.
The Usos and Athena went through stuff over there. So they've been, and even the guys like we talked about now, Fly Def, amazing talent, Overkill, amazing talent that we see. I know that's just a couple. So yeah, I hope that they all kind of allow them to keep what they've been doing, because it's clear they've been successful. And again, they are attached with people who know the WWE style. So you hope the idea is you teach them strong in the fundamentals. Then that's the pathway to the PC, where then they can learn the specific WWE stuff. Give them a solid foundation in wrestling overall, then send them to the place where they mold them to what WWE wants.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see where this goes from here. See, obviously these are the first ones announced. We'll see what other schools get announced for that as well. Some of the other comments we got here. Okay, Sean. Yeah, there's a couple things here. The Bears thing. You guys know what he's talking about? Have you guys haven't seen this? The Hail Mary.
The Bears Commanders game. Is that what...
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was amazing.
That quarterback's gonna feel so dumb.
Hold on. That's exactly the thing. That is one of the things you can relate to pro wrestling is, and for so many levels, if you go back and watch that, yes, while that Hail Mary pass was happening, once the play started, there was a cornerback for the Bears who was already taunting the opposing fans, and the play's going. He ends up being the one that the ball bounces off of, whose hand it bounces off when he's trying to knock it down, and it lands in the wide receiver for the Commanders' hands for him to catch the touchdown pass. Even more so, if you go back and look closely, at the front row was a bunch of Bears fans trying to tell him, hey, the play's going on, when he was taunting the crowd. So there's so much wrestling involved. Thinking
not only that, okay.
Yeah. Thinking the heel, like taunting the crowd, and the face is getting up behind him, and the fans are trying to, look behind you, right? I mean, it was just so
2,
much.
3. We won. Why are we not tag champions anymore? So,
well, actually, you say Wrestling Connection. Seth Rollins was invited to that game, and there's a video of him. He's like,
and he is a
diehard
Bears fan.
I know.
He is such a huge Bears fan. He's a great Madden player. He always plays the Bears every year. But yeah, he was just distraught. I think him or the Commanders put a picture of his game pass or his box pass into the trash can, and he put that message out like, I'm done with this or whatever, and the Commanders retweeted or something like that. It was hilarious.
I mean, the Bears have been kind of crap the last few years, so like I'm not on Twitter as much anymore as I have been the last year or two, but every Sunday there was the Seth Rollins "I hate football" tweet because the Bears would always.
That's the thing. They're actually doing pretty good this year. Like they were 4-2 going into that game.
Oh,
Caleb
yeah.
Williams has really turned it around.
Yeah.
They had it. Like Washington, it was a
had
battle
it.
of two rookie quarterbacks.
They had it.
Washington's looking to win the NFC East, and that's just a magical thing. Like Jaden Daniels.
But you said it. But they had it. They had it that whole time. That last damn bounce is.
I know. Look, don't be surprised if this is a playoff matchup come January between Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams would be so huge for sure.
I know the damn Cowboys won't be there. Sorry,
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, they'll have good seats at their house while they're on vacation and getting ready for next season. It's definitely next season. Yeah. Next season's a season, man. It's gonna get better.
I hate Jerry Jones so much.
Yeah, me.
Oh yeah, he's had his senior moments ever since he turned 82 a couple weeks ago. Believe me.
It was only a couple of weeks ago. I feel like he turned 82 like 10 years ago.
No, the day they got blown out by Detroit, that's the day he turned 82, and he's not been nice to radio people ever since. So.
I hate him so much. I blame all this on him. All of it.
Now, Sean, you put this up here. Are we talking about for Glory next year? What are you talking about here? What's going on here? So, that's what I want.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
don't
you
tempt me with a good time. Yeah. All right, guys, let's talk. You guys were in attendance for a hybrid experience. I unfortunately didn't get to attend, like I told you guys before. I was stuck at a baseball field till 10 o'clock at night, so I couldn't make it out to a hybrid. How did the show go? What are some highlights?
Jesse Funaki continues to be one of the fastest rising stars in wrestling.
Yeah, that kid's good.
Callum's getting more evil. I think that's even possible.
Yeah, but yeah, you know the turn happened at RCW that we talked about with Ray earlier, and then they had already set up a tag team with Callie and Ridley versus Key and Vert Vixen, who had kind of been in San Antonio this past week for a couple shows. They did not work well together, and Callie wound up slapping her, leaving her in the ring. Vert did hit her with the finisher because it was a tag match, but afterwards, Vert and Key were kind of like, hey, like, maybe you need to leave that person alone, and, you're pretty good on your own, Ridley. So they showed each other respect after the match, which is pretty cool. Celine, the third Chola, if you were, seemed to side and leave with Callie, so that's kind of interesting. Also, yeah, JC, I think you'll appreciate this. So they had a costume contest, and Angel was there with her Izzy shirt, basically being Izzy Moreno, and she won. And Izzy ran up behind her after she won, gave her her belt, and was celebrated. It was really cool. Yeah, so shout out Angel for winning that. That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
What else you got?
The rest of the show is good, but I need to say this. I was going to try to figure if I can say something else before this, but let me just make this clear. Calabas is insane.
Yeah.
But in a good way.
Amazing luchador.
Dude, that dude, his movements are fantastic. Oh, wait, there's one more thing I could say. Devin and Zakai against each other. I know they're usually attacking, but against each other, that they make magic, dude. Because that match was ridiculous.
Also, JC, if you look on my Facebook post from this weekend, go down and find the video. It was Devin, versus Zakai. Devin was kind of dressed up in a, I don't know, like it was supposed to be like very sexy Cinderella, fairy godmother. I don't know.
Like that, yeah.
Right. Zakai was cousin It from the Addams Family and had a full Sasquatch thing. I don't know what it was. And then he did like a little reveal. It was pretty cool. Here's Sean's response. I don't know if you saw this.
Yeah, I was actually about to. Here, I got some details. I found it out. So here's what's going on. TNA announced that Genesis will be taking place in Dallas on January 19th. That is their first TNA Plus. I think it's their first TNA Plus. No, pay-per-view event of the year. First time they have done that since 2022. On the following Thursday night, January 23rd, San Antonio will host a live episode of Impact.
Okay.
Not a taped one, live. As we know, Impact, they like to tape. This one's going to be live. And then they'll be in action. TNA they're going to stick around for another day on the 24th and tape some further episodes of Impact the following night.
Interesting.
So they're doing a live episode the 23rd and going to tape some additional ones on the following night. In addition, TNA execs confirmed multiple yet to be announced championship matches will be held in San Antonio.
Yeah, I mean that would make sense. Okay.
Yeah. So, but just the fact that we're getting episodes of Impact, but there's going to be some championship matches, that is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now, Sean, you said November 24th. I was double checking on that. Tickets actually go on sale Friday, November 15th, starting at 9 a.m. Central Time. The exclusive pre-sale for TNA Plus subscribers is Wednesday, November 13th, starting at 9 a.m. Central Time. You can go to TNAWrestling.com for that ticket information. So, not this week, but the following. Wait, 2 weeks from now, basically tickets go on sale for these events. So, first of many, guys. I mean, this is San Antonio. This is on you guys. Everyone that showed up, this town. You showed TNA how big a wrestling town this is.
Yep.
It's amazing, dude. You showed up. You showed out for Victory Road for the Impact tapings. Now they're taking notice. A live episode of Impact. TNA rarely does that nowadays, guys. So the fact that they're going to be doing a live episode and taping future episodes the next day. Please, Bound for Glory. Like we're on pace for that, guys. I mean, think about it. So I'm very.
I shouldn't say this on the show, but if we get free passes to give away again, I'm definitely taking a pair this time.
Yeah, same. Yeah, same.
Just kidding.
No, I'm not.
Oh my God.
Back to hybrid real quick. Knopf. I don't know how you got drunk. You were drinking a water bottle the whole time, from what I remember. So but you're always welcome to sit with us. That was fun. He had a cool kind of local moment this past week. I think it's been since our last show. A local kind of Texas wrestler, Aaron Mercer, announced on his Instagram that he was retiring. That he just kind of had enough. He had a lot of injuries. Obviously, as all wrestlers go through, and kind of hit that point where he wants to be able to raise his kids and be healthy. And he had been in some storyline stuff with Stash and Brick Savage. So it was funny because Knopf was sitting next to us, and he kind of noticed. I don't know if you at Hybrid, there's that kind of window where you can kind of look in from that little office on the side there.
Yeah.
He's like, and he was just like, "Oh crap, that's Mercer." Like, and he's got his white hoodie on. I was like, he's probably just here to support and stuff. He's like, I don't know. And then sure enough, he got involved in the tag match to help kind of K-Jackson Hit, which is a pretty big, impressive tag team. But they decided to use chairs, and Mercer ran out and saved them. And I guess it was, you kind of said it was like a closure moment for him.
I thought he saved Stash and King. Bravo.
Huh.
Yeah, no. No. If I said that incorrectly, I apologize.
Okay.
He saved Stash, and he used the chairs against K-Jax, and then Hit was like, "Nah, I'm out."
Yeah.
So that was a cool moment for them, and
Water. Lies. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was fun. And then, Angel, you didn't even have the full costume. That was cool, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was fun. They had a good time. Sakai's costume was pretty awesome.
Hilarious.
And it's always hybrid. Unfortunately, October decided that it should still be like 90 degrees at night. So that gym was still pretty sweltering. But
Ready for that cold front this weekend, man. The
No
highs of 70,
kidding.
in the 70s next week for sure. So
yeah,
But-
I've heard that before.
Yeah.
all right. Anything else to talk about with hybrid or?
I mean, yeah, Calabas and Casey was a great match.
It was a great main event. It really they absolutely did kill it for that main event for sure.
They really did. Zakai and Devin was good. There's an interesting new kind of group in there called Dead Man's Hand. They have a manager, Freak Show, and it's Jesse James, Eric Walker, and Jay Young. Some young hybrid guys who have kind of been looking for their place, and that's kind of what the group is. They did lose to the Treats because shenanigans, but
Marvel.
Marvel pretty much.
Yeah.
And then what else was there? Izzy, of course, defended. Speaking of Izzy, she defended her Mission Pro title against London Dior. Dior. That was a pretty good match.
London Dior, by the way, who's just making her rounds in San Antonio lately, and like it was like
yeah,
okay,
I'd
cool.
love to see it.
Yeah, me too.
And speaking of which, at the RCW show the week before, Emmy had gotten injured, wound up just being a pulled hamstring. Yeah. So they're running
nothing worse.
Yeah, no, definitely. But they're running that match back at Acceleration. They announced that this week.
Yeah, and I am for it. I am for it. When they announced it, I was like, yeah, let's run that back. Let's do this.
On top of 2 more RCW women title matches with the 2 belts they still got going on. So
this insanity is making me happy.
So because it was so hot, I had my little hand fan that I had bought since, and Nav turned to me, he's like, "Oh shit, I thought you had a mic or something. I thought you were doing live commentary." I was like,
live reaction, social media.
Yeah, I was like, no, it's just hot as hell out here, man. Sean, we won't share that comment. That's okay.
Oh boy,
he just said the treats are the best.
No, no, we don't like to share a bunch of lies on the show,
Yeah, of course. But no, great hybrid show, and they're coming back. They have 2 shows in November, actually. One on November 16th, which is that's I think the actual school show, and then is it the 23rd? I think the 23rd is their Lytle show again.
I think
they're going back to Lytle.
23rd, because Don Juan did mention that when he was on the show. The 23rd, they were going back to Lytle.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Poor Mike Wilkes, the guy who was announcing at Hybrid, announced it as October 23rd, and Saturday was the 26th, and we were like, "Are we time traveling? That's cool."
Everybody jump in the DeLorean.
And then he was like, "Just go to social media and we'll find the right date." But yeah. Yeah, there you go. November 16th is Thanks Beating 2. That's the school show and L-Town Throwdown. Technically L-Town Throwdown 2, I think. I think that was the name of it last time.
Yeah, I think that's what Don Juan said when he was on the show, for sure.
Yeah.
So,
And we went to the Lido one last time. That's really cool. That was fun there. The people liked it. So
yeah, the people were having a good time.
Those small towns, man, they love their wrestling, for sure. So,
yeah, Angel, you got front row tickets to one of them from winning the contest. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk a bit Bound for Glory, guys. Now, full disclosure, I will have to say neither Mike, Tommy, nor I have gotten to sit down and sit through Bound for Glory or Halloween Havoc. There's been so much going on this weekend. I've caught bits and pieces. I haven't finished Halloween Havoc yet. Long and short of it is, there was an issue with my Peacock account because one of my cards expired. I had to update the expiration date on it. Yeah, fun times. Anyway, but some of the results themselves, Bound for Glory, this is their biggest event of the year, and some surprises to say the least, guys.
Yeah,
the biggest, I think, of which, at least from based on what we had predicted, Jordan Grace is no longer the TNA Knockouts champion.
Yeah.
So, thoughts on Masha Slamovich taking over,
beating NXT superstar Jordan Grace?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my thing. It's like, where are we going with this?
Yeah, I mean, she showed up yesterday on NXT.
Yeah, so, but I mean, in all fairness, Jordan had a good, long, solid run with it. It's, every now and then you gotta turn that title over. You don't gotta be Roman all the time. And Masha had a lot of momentum originally, and kind of before Jordan went on her run. So. A little bit shocking, although I did say, if there was a time to do it, it's the show.
And we all agree, we just didn't think it was going to happen.
Right, but we kind of flipped the main men and women's title from what we thought. But yeah.
That's true.
So yeah, it's a little bit of a shock, but it's also you should do that.
Yeah.
What are some of the other big ones? Well, I know the Hardy Boys won.
The Hardys won the tag team championships.
And I think that was the main event, if I heard correctly.
Yeah, that was a bit surprising to me, especially with the way the Nick Nemeth and Joe Hendry match finished. John Layfield now becoming one of the top heels in TNA.
Which is a weird sentence.
Yeah.
Well, is he a heel or just an anti-hero? Because he did attack Kazarian first,
Yeah. Who, by the way, won the Call Your Shot Gauntlet? Kazarian did. So
Right. He's kind of heel, right? He's not face right now, is he?
yeah,
He's heel.
He was heel. He was a special ref for the World Championship match as well. So,
right.
Let's see. Any of the results? PCO somehow wins, not surprising, with Monsters Ball. But yeah, the Hardys are tag team champions. Nick Nemeth defeats Joe Hendry. Obviously, it's not surprising to me. Jordan Grace lost the title, and literally the next few days later was on NXT TV, right? So obviously there's a thing there where I guess maybe they're trying to use her more, but her holding the championship makes it difficult for them to kind of book around that, right? But Joe Hendry losing, is this the idea that they planned a little bit more sharing with him? I don't know how much longer he has on his contract with TNA.
I had heard that it goes through 2025 because I saw a post on Reddit like, let's stop this. Joe Hendry's a WWE superstar. He's already. So I don't know. I did literally say on the show last week, if you don't pull the trigger now, why are you even a wrestling company? So I'd be very interested to see where this story goes.
Yeah.
Right.
It reminds me of when we talked way back about Hangman and Omega. Did they make this too? Did they swerve too much here to be like, oh, you didn't see that coming?
You built this up, just get across the finish line.
Right. And they didn't, at least not yet.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
not looking good, but we'll see.
We'll see.
Okay. Let's see. Spitfire retained the Knockouts World Tag Team Championships.
Yeah.
Mike Bailey retained the NXT Division Championship. Josh Alexander defeated Steve Macklin. Mike Santana defeated Moose. And in a pre-show match, also Ash by Elegance and Heather by Elegance defeated Zaya Brookside and Brinley Reese. So
some of the NXT switch sharing.
Yep. All right. Well, as far as how our pick results were on Bound for Glory, Mike and I both went 2-4, and Tommy 4-2.
Nice.
Good job, Tommy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So
do the best I can.
All right. Well, we'll see where we go from here. Next on the TNA calendar is Turning Point on November 29th, the same weekend as War Games, literally the day before. So we're kind of seeing where they lead from there. And we're going to be keeping an eye on it because in a few months' time, TNA is going to be here in San Antonio. Live Impact, like we mentioned. So it's definitely worth.
Is War Games a Saturday or a Sunday?
War Games is a Saturday.
Okay.
30th.
Oh.
Yeah. So basically, Turning Point is Black Friday and War Games is the next day. And then after War Games, you can put your Christmas decorations up, people. Okay. Yeah. All right. NXT's Halloween Havoc. Yeah, with all I had that day as far as birthday parties go, I completely forgot it was on. So, but this felt like a show that, well, for one, we had one title change. They finally got to showcase Julia and Stephanie Vaquera a little bit, with this tag title. Well, not the tag title, the tag team match. So,
yeah, I don't, like I said, I don't know if we've all watched all of it, but I know Roxy took the pin, which I thought was interesting.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's what I'd read.
Wow.
Trick, of course, retained. Kalani Jordan, again, I don't know. Like, I don't think Kalani Jordan is bad by any means, but they do seem really set on pushing her, and I feel like there are other NXT talents that are a little better than her overall, but I don't know. Because it was from Fatal Influence. Which one actually winds up with the belt now?
Fallon Henley.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, they chose a gauntlet where all three of them were in it, and Fallon Henley's the one that walked away with the championship.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But then apparently that also led to a big 5-on-5 tag match from this last the Tuesday show.
Yep.
So
doesn't NXT do their own, not really War Games anymore, but they do some sort of like big team on team thing that same weekend, don't they? I'm trying to recall what they
I can't remember
because they had War Games originally.
They had War Games first,
right?
And then the main roster was like, "No, we'll take that."
I'm trying to remember what they had. They had something, but
I can't remember.
But that tag team's just next week, right? It's not.
I think
Yeah,
next week.
I think it's next week.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that is-
it's not a
okay.
big event. So, let's see. Oba Femi loses to Tony D'Angelo, doesn't reclaim the championship, the North American Championship. So I think it's. I want to say it's safe to say, is Oba Femi taking a shot at Trick Williams now?
That or I heard a rumor they would have put him on the main roster. That's a rumor I heard though. Can't confirm.
Interesting. Okay.
I could see both, honestly.
I could too.
Although I guess I don't know where you put him on the main roster, what you do with him. Then it's like, with all their stories going on, he seems like someone you would strap a rocket to pretty quickly. But the main event scene on both shows is pretty set, at least champion wise. That'd be interesting to see if he does go main roster.
Oh, excuse me.
Does he have any Samoan heritage? Because he could be a member of the OG bloodline for War Games. I'm just throwing it out there. So,
I mean,
they'll make up some story where like his Nigerian father married one of the Samoan sisters or something.
I have my 23andMe Roman. You know,
oh, Jason just brought up a good point. Not anymore ECW themed NXT next week. Because
not anymore the tag match or what?
The 10-woman tag because they're doing.
Oh,
oh,
that's right.
They're ECW because is it on Wednesday? Because they're competing with Dynamite next week.
I think I remember seeing something.
I think so because that's what they had the arena, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I have a grade for NXT Halloween Havoc, even though I haven't seen it.
Oh,
okay. What? Okay. Well, pick results wise, we all went 3 and 2. But Mike, what is your grade for Halloween Havoc and why?
3.
3.
For 2 reasons.
Uh-oh.
1, you brought Bully Ray in.
Oh.
And you brought him in during the main event. 2, all those women, and you didn't have Ren Sinclair. So for those 2 reasons, that's a 3. Tommy, I don't know why you're looking at me like you don't agree. I'm sorry, are you a Bully Ray fan?
I didn't
Do you
say
like
that.
seeing him on your TV?
I didn't say that.
Might as well bring Bully Ray and Jericho on at the same time. I don't know.
It's just your reasoning that's funny.
It's straight logic. Like you can't fight that logic.
I will confess to wondering what the hell Bully Ray was doing there, but because that seemed to make little to no sense at all.
Notice how TNA and NXT are working together, and both main events end with an old tag team white guy coming in and being involved.
Did they call him Bully Ray or Bubba Ray on the show? Though?
Bubba Ray. They call him Bubba Ray.
Oh, I don't know.
All right. So
I call him Alex Jones now, but I mean, what are you going to do?
Oh gosh. All right.
Casey, what's up?
What's up, Casey?
What's up, champ?
All right. Well, you guys ready?
Did you see who did that to him? Who was he doing that interview with? No. It was she likes. Was it an AEW talent? It wasn't. I forgot what it was, but she did that. Do you know who I am? She was doing all the Bully Rays. It's Harley Cameron, I think.
If it's Harley Cameron, that makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, no, 100%. But it was.
She's hilarious and don't give a damn.
I think it was for Maple Leaf Wrestling, is what it was, or something like that. But that was hilarious. I gotta find the clip. Bully work Josh Alexander, now going to work Ethan Page. Yeah. I really wish Bully would work the not at the show.
Oh, that makes sense.
No, yeah. No, I know, Jason. I get that.
Yeah.
RVD was on NXT this week, too.
Yeah.
He's going to show
apparently, Dawn Marie's supposed to ref a match at... Which, by the way, I love Dawn Marie. I just didn't even know they remembered who she was.
Yeah. Have they squeezed all the juice out of the ECW Orange? Like... They've been doing this pretty much since like ECW died, and that's been a while. Like we're talking one night stands in 2006 that were like nostalgia shows, and it's 2024 now. Oh, Jason, it was Harley at the Maple Leaf.
To be fair, a lot of people still go to the ECW arena. A lot of ECW guys still wrestle and show up at other places. So I'll give them a pass based on that.
It's how can we say this? It's one of those things. It's nostalgia. It's good every once in a while, you know. I mean, just
But the fact that you know what? Here's the real reason I give them a pass. They stopped doing Extreme Rules as a pay-per-view.
Okay.
So
That's
it gets a pass with me.
So special episode every now and then is not bad.
By the way,
Yeah.
this is a call out. Do not bring that back.
Look, they'll never
That or
admit
Hell
it,
in a Cell's a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
but AEW, in a sense, has basically made WWE Extreme Rule matches like inconsequential. Because they're like, oh, look, we got some kendo sticks in the trash can. And AEW's like, we've got glass and needles and
hypodermic needles.
right, and setting people on fire. Like,
We've
yeah.
got kendo sticks and barbed wire. We have murder. We
Yeah.
will kill someone to get the show.
And they killed the man.
I saw that. You see that? Hangman Page killed a guy.
NXT can get Extreme Rules. Casey, you go and heal on us. What is this?
What's going on here?
No, because NXT can get Extreme Rules.
Just as a throwback.
I thought we were friends.
Just as a throwback, man. They're getting all throwback pay-per-view names.
No,
All right.
as long as they don't bring back Great Balls of Fire.
Oh,
All right.
What was the dumbest pay-per-view name I'd ever heard in my life?
It was, but they probably got the rights to the songs. Like, we got to name a pay-per-view this. So, all right.
Balls of Fire.
Crown Jewel this Saturday. We're going to talk about it now. Surprise, surprise, guys. WWE is putting more than 5 matches on a card. They're doing 7
monkey's
for
paw,
this one.
Tommy.
Yeah.
They finally do it, and it's a freaking Saudi Arabia show. Mother.
Yeah. Well, let's go through, make some predictions. If you're
Yeah,
watching
sure,
along,
why
make
not?
some predictions along with this as well. Starting with depressed Bears fan Seth Rollins taking on Bronson Reed.
Wow.
Thankfully, he won't have to watch the Bears play until the next day after this show. So, yeah. But anyway, Tommy, who you picking for this one?
Bronson Reed. I feel like
Okay.
this is gonna go on for a while, and this will just be like the opening salvo.
All right. Mike?
I think I'm going to agree with him. Bronson Reed.
I'm actually going to agree with you guys too on that. Although I'm
Oh,
pretty
cool.
sure Seth is going to his entrance is going to last a good like 5-10 minutes while the crowd gets they're singing it for sure. Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens. Mike, what are you thinking?
Because it's in Saudi Arabia, I'm going to go with Randy on this one.
Okay.
Because the crowd's going to love that. And then Kevin Owen, it takes nothing for him to take the loss and then get the heat back with like an aftermatch beatdown or something. So I'm going to go with Randy.
Yeah, I'm going Randy Orton as well. It's crazy. They kind of face Randy Orton. I think the crowd's really going to love that. Tommy.
Yeah, Randy. I feel like Kevin might cost himself the match somehow, if you know what I mean. Or Randy wins, then Kevin Owens beats him down afterwards.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what I'm thinking.
Most recent match just announced: the OG Bloodline, Roman Reigns and the Usos versus the Bloodline, which can be any 3 members of the Bloodline. Which
Is that what it
Solo.
says?
Yeah, that's basically what it says.
Oh, okay.
They'll
Because
decide.
I thought
that
I'd
night.
heard it. I thought I'd heard it was Solo and the Gorillas of Destiny, but
Most likely it will be, I guess. But we'll see what they decide on that.
okay.
I'm gonna pick the new Bloodline to win this one. Obviously, this is the beginning of a lead up into War Games, which was we discussed earlier with Ray on. And I think the reason why this is going to be the beginning of it is whatever 3 members of the Bloodline are going to be in there, the 4th one's going to get involved and possibly, help them win the match. So I'm going with the Solo's Bloodline, if you will, to win this one.
Bloodline.
Tommy, what about you?
Yeah, new Bloodline. I feel like they're gonna save whatever big blow off is gonna be for War Games. So this is again another opening salvo. That's all this pay-per-view is. I'm sorry. It should be called Crown Jewel opening salvo. Let's just read this.
Mike?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go Solo's Bloodline too for similar reasons. Obviously, like we said, it's leading to War Games, and at the moment, New Bloodline has a 4th person that OG Bloodline doesn't. So again, like we kind of talked about earlier, I think this may lead to Sammy more than likely coming back in and being their 4th man. So we'll see how that goes.
Little score update. The Dodgers are up 1 in the bottom of the 9th, and they got 2 outs. Came back from being down 5-0. So, all right.
And this could be the last game, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
they're up 3-1 of the series, and they were actually losing this game 5-0, came back, and now
snap.
they're ahead by a run. And 2 outs in the 9th. They can clinch it here. So, all All right. On to the championship matches. The women's tag team championship is in a fatal 4-way. Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair are defending against Damage Control, Metaphor, and Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. Tommy, who's walking away with the championship here?
Well, can't go against my close personal friend Jay Cargill. So
No.
the person I met all of one time, but got to have a 45-minute conversation with her. So and MJF was there too.
Yeah.
I think I can't remember actually. Anyway,
Wow.
no, I'm gonna go Cargill and Belair.
If you heard that scream, the Dodgers just got strike 3.
Okay.
There goes my son running by to go celebrate with my wife.
I have no but to be fair, I have no confidence in this pick whatsoever.
Okay.
I have none. I'm kind of guessing I might be wrong.
Okay. Mike, what about you?
I'm going to go with Chelsea and Piper. They need something.
And I was thinking that too. I'm not even going to lie. That's what I'm thinking too.
With a fatal 4-way, including an NXT team, that makes it so easy for Jade and Belair to lose without losing.
Yeah.
And again, I still think Chelsea should have won the briefcase. I think she's better. I don't know, not to get into that again, but yeah, I think they need something. They're way too talented to not have more. So
I'm actually with Mike. As soon as this match was announced, I was looking at the teams like, this has Chelsea and Piper written all over it. And yeah, Metaphor is probably going to be the team that takes the pin. So that's where I'm going with this one. So yes, Jay, I was watching it. I'm watching it. I know. Okay, go to bed. All right. We're baseball fan. What can I say? United States Championship, LA Knight in a triple threat defending against Andrade and Carmelo Hayes. Mike, what are you thinking?
I hate to say this because I know this sounds rude, but have Andrade and Hayes ever felt less big time? Like, I feel like this feud has kind of gone on with them too in LA Knight and has kind of brought LA Knight down. Like, Hayes was huge in NXT. Andrade came back, but I just don't feel like maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm missing something, but I just don't feel like they've hit. So I'm going to go with Knight. I can't see him losing here.
Okay. Same for me. I'm sticking with LA Knight on this one. I don't know. Andrade's already got the Speed Championship. People forget that, right? So like,
I was just looking it up because I couldn't remember. Does he still have that?
He still has it, and Candice LeRae has the Women's Speed Championship, by the way. So just throw that out there. Yeah.
I keep forgetting the women's one is a thing.
No. But Tommy, AEW has too many belts. Okay.
So. Yeah.
Yeah, of course, because they all those damn titles they have over there. But what is the point of the speech? Okay, you know what?
They got paid by X. Literally, that's it.
That's pretty much it.
Yep,
so it's the Elon Musk Championship, if you will. Tommy, what's your pick on this match?
LA Knight.
Okay.
Yeah. That was unintentional. I didn't mean to do the there, but yeah.
Yeah. All right. The Women's Crown Jewel Championship. Now, this is Liv Morgan, the current Raw Women's Championship, facing Nia Jax, the SmackDown Women's Championship. Their individual championships are not on the line. This is basically, like I said before, their version of the King of Pro Wrestling Championship. Here's the current champions at this time. Let's have them face each other and just do a Crown Jewel Championship. I'm going to go ahead and say Liv Morgan. Ray was talking about earlier. He's thinking that Raquel's going to get involved. I've actually been thinking about that as well. All signs seem to point to Nia Jax, but I think Liv, especially now with Rhea Ripley being injured, they're really going to pour it on. She's going to get cocky. Raquel's going to be the Crown Jewel champion coming out of or going to help Liv become the Crown Jewel champion. And we might see a Tiffy time cash in if Nia Jax is laying in the ring. I'm just throwing it out there as an idea. So, Tommy, what do you think? I'm
actually going Nia, and okay. I still don't think they're going to use Tiffy to cash in just yet. So, but that's just my thoughts. But yeah, I'm going to go Nia.
All right, Mike.
Okay. I'm going to go Nia. But what if this happens?
Okay.
Nia wins. Nia, we don't care about it. That's fair,
I
Jason.
saw that.
Nia,
coming.
we don't care about it. That's
Nia wins.
I know. Go ahead. Sorry.
Gets
Baseball fan.
attacked.
That's Tina. That's not even the kid.
Yeah, I know.
that's hilarious.
Gets attacked by Raquel after that. Then Tiffy cashes in. So Nia technically wins the Crown Jewel title, but then loses
The SmackDown title.
her SmackDown title. Yeah, or the women's champion, whatever it's called now.
I don't think we've yet to see a Money in the Bank cash in Saudi Arabia, right?
No, we haven't.
Side?
Not that
We
I
have
can remember.
Yeah. Cool. So finally the men's Crown Jewel Championship, Gunther versus Cody Rhodes. Ray said earlier you can't have Cody lose, right? He's kind of the poster child. Tommy, do you agree with that? What are you thinking?
Yeah, no, I agree. I really do think that it's going to be Cody. I don't see any reason for him to lose right now. And I think this will be like kind of whatever road they can start showing cracks in Gunther's armor to finally have somebody else pin him, So, yeah, I'm going Cody.
All right, Mike.
Yeah, same.
Jason's comment.
Same for me. I good
This
stuff.
is too funny.
All right. Well, that is our predictions. I'm also going Cody as well. That is our predictions for Crown Jewel. Crown Jewel itself is this Saturday, November 2nd. Also, Dia de los Muertos.
There's a ghost.
At noon Central Time. Pre-show should be starting around 11. It's taking place at the Mohammed Abdul Arena in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and exclusively on Peacock, internationally on WWE Network, where it still exists as well. So, all right. With that, we can move into our 1 minute warning segment here as soon as I get the graphic up here and everything like that. Mike, do you have something this week?
No, I don't. I'm going to pass.
Okay. Tommy, what about you?
Okay. I do if I can spoil Dynamite.
Go for it.
Go for it.
Okay.
Ready? Go.
All right. So spoiling Dynamite for a couple of reasons. One, it's super cool that Private Party, who have been like on the bad end of things for a while. I know. I think was Zay, or I think it was Quinn, who kept having injuries and whatnot, and stuff just kept happening. Every time like their rocket was about to take off, something would happen. The bottom would fall out. Now they are the tag champions. Congrats to them being the Young Bucks, apparently overcoming insurmountable odds and winning. Happy for them. The other thing I want to talk about is Bobby Lashley debuted tonight, apparently. So we are getting at least some version of the Hurt Business in AEW. And all I can say is, thank God! Because the fact that we couldn't get that in WWE again is criminal. What the hell?
I don't know what you're talking about. Triple H doesn't see color. So.
That was you know what? Don't give me started on that bullshit. I don't see color. I said, you know what? I'm so sick of that argument. I don't see color. Put the black folks together, then. Just do it, then.
The most ironic thing is his superstar Cody. I don't know if you remember the story he told about his wife with Brandy.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? Where she was like, "Well, if you don't see color, you don't see me. That's my story."
Yeah.
My experience.
No. You know what the most ironic thing about it? I don't see color. Yeah, I bet you didn't see it. It took you 30 seconds to pin Booker T at WrestleMania 19 because your dumbass effed up the pedigree and he should have won that match in the first place. I was sick of that damn match.
Yeah, same.
All right. For me, with the 1 minute warning, let's fantasy book a little bit and what I think TNA should do with Frankie Kazarian holding the Call Your Shot gauntlet. As you know, he gets a trophy and a contract he can invoke at any time for a championship match of their choosing. In the past, this has been an X Division championship. It's been a world championship. It's been a tag team championship, whatever. Kazarian, if you really want to go crazy with it, show up on Tuesday at NXT and cash in for one of those championships. Whether it be Trick Williams, Maybe you find yourself a partner and go after Nathan Frazier and Axiom for the NXT Tag Team Championships. Maybe you feel like holding a North American Championship against Tony D'Angelo. I don't know. But I think it would be a lot of fun. And all everyone's thinking Joe Hendry and Jordan Grace. What if Kazarian showed up and cashed in at NXT? I would like to see it. Have a little fun with it. So
would
yeah.
love that. Because it would be so insane.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I have to one up that. What if he shows up in Saudi Arabia? No, I'm just kidding.
Wow. Aside from all that, how great is it that the Motor City Machine Guns are tag team champions in WWE, guys?
Yeah.
That is great, but also shows the hypocrisy of the IWC. Just putting that out there too.
Okay.
Because people complained and cried when Ricochet got an international title shot, but now they're praising the fact that the Young Guns, Motor City Machine Guns got the tag titles. Which, by the way, I'm fine with both. By the way, I'm fine with both scenarios. I don't care because Ricochet has earned it for years. The Machine Guns have earned it for years. It's not and this is one of the differences to me. It's not a case of like new wrestlers showing up suddenly and not having the career to back it up. This is a case of, in this case, 3 individuals who've had fantastic careers and have gone on to other things and are getting the recognition they deserve. Yeah, that's just my opinion.
I heard some crazy thing like the Machine Guns have only actually had like 2 title reigns in TNA. Like you think they had a bunch? It wasn't really.
Just they held them for a while. Yeah.
It wasn't. I don't think was it 2. Was it 2?
2 or 3, something like that. I thought
as a tag team, they each had individual championships, but
yeah, I remember. Yeah.
So,
but I didn't realize you think of them as like.
I'm just double checking real quick. It was only 3.
Okay.
I think it was like JC said. It wasn't because of how long they had them, and just because like they were just such a damn good tag team. It just like kind of didn't matter anymore.
And they did have a lot of individuals. Like Sabin was X Division a whole bunch.
He was,
champion, and then Shelley was.
I think he had the belt more times than anyone in history.
Probably, yeah, I believe that.
Chris Sabin has held the X Division title 10 times. Jeez. Originally, it was AJ with 6.
Wow. All right. Well, thank you everybody for watching our show this week. Thank you again to Ray Lopez for joining us.
Absolutely.
Once again, Crown Jewel Saturday, November 2nd at noon Central Time from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, exclusively on Peacock or WWE Network. This is not a pay-per-view event, by the way. Next week, we'll recap Crown Jewel and we'll preview the potential final BOW show of the near future. We'll see. Tommy's gonna have some insight on that, I'm pretty sure as well.
Yeah.
So, and see what other wrestling news is out there. There's a lot that just keeps popping up. Once again, let me share this again. Ray's book. Let me pull it back over here.
Whoa, he wrote Crown. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Lock Up Professional Wrestling in Our World. Visit the Mascot Books website. You can also pre-order on Amazon or reach out to Ray at Lucha Lockup on Twitter. Send him a message to see if we can get you hooked up with possibly an autographed copy. And check your local bookstores as well. In San Antonio area, they should already be out there as well. So
nice.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Thank you everybody for joining us. Appreciate everybody on the live chat as well.
Mm-hmm.
Over here, we got Tommy.
Thanks, guys.
We got Mike.
Thanks, guys. Be good to each other.
And I'm JC. As always, baby faces, remember, pro wrestling is real. People are fake.
Boom.
God bless.
See you next week.
Adios, Gunther. Na 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 na